Awaken Beauties, finally, it's here. The truth to empower women to true inner beauty through a healthy mind and inner biology. I am your hostess, Cassandra Keel, a 20-year salon owner, organic beauty product formulator, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And I am here to help you stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Sponsored by evoquebeauty.com. evoquebeauty.com. Now, let's get to it. Welcome to the Awaken Beauty Podcast. This is Cassandra, your neuroenergetic ADHD coach, clinical hypnotherapist, and biofeedback practitioner. And first and foremost, your bestie when it comes to all things multidimensional in this quantum soup that we live in together. Okay, my friends, we're going to go into 4 dimensions around ADHD and neurodiversity. Now, this can include whether you're an HSP, you're highly sensitive, perhaps you're an empath, all applies here, my brilliant women. So when we look at shame, blame, and guilt, underneath each individual, each of us, each of you that can hear me right now, that we have all suffered in our life, whether it's big trauma, little trauma, microaggressions of just negative bias thinking, or not having a rich environment of healthy individuals and friendships around us. Whatever it is, but many of these tendencies and symptoms and complications that are layered over ADHD, my goodness, not only if you have ADHD or not, but what we would be able to do to release and remove so much of the suffering on this earth. So I just want to send you love and say that first and foremost. But until that happens, my friends, I really want to just propose a 4-dimensional approach here that integrates with our energy and how it applies to the ADHD nervous system that includes our brain and body. And there's 4 different layers here. There's the physical, there's emotional, there's our biological health, and our energetic. So you could say it's brain, body, bioenergetics, and our spiritual as well, right? So first and foremost, let's address the word ADHD, because I'm kind of over it, to be honest with you. And I absolutely love Ned Hallowell's new approach to proposing the word of VAST, which is a variable attention stimulus trait. Now, I've stated many times, 4 more adults are being diagnosed with ADHD than children, which tells us that we have a executive function disorder on our plate, meaning having a hard time focusing, concentrating, organizing, planning, executing. So I just want to say that first and foremost, that we're really looking at the vast variables here of attention stimulus trait and how that really aligns with our nervous system and how it affects every measure of our life. So net, ADHD just means that you have a brain that is different. And we will look at the variable attention stimulus trait. We're really saying that this inner source of our health and our happiness is already within you. We just have to turn up that dial and be able to turn down the dial of different things that energetically are creeping into our soul and our brain in our life. And that our subconscious mind has incredible control over our lives, regardless of our intelligence, because it is out of our conscious awareness that we are present with ourselves and others in our life that brings us true contentment. And this really is the key to success, is aligning our subconscious mind with our higher superconscious mind, which is our genius, which aligns with our purpose, which creates the tension, the right kind of tension that pulls us towards who we want to and who we choose to become every day of our life. And we are all rich and complex human beings and fragments of the whole. Lynn Taggart's work, Power of Eight. We are all connected, and with all the parts connected in ways that we often have no awareness of. So this is the quantum nature of our entire universe, and we are all a part of that. So with that preface, I want to step into ADHD and the vast intelligence of the universe within your body. Now, oftentimes, individuals with VAST get caught in their head. There are many tasks throughout the day that require our attention, things pulling away our attention, and attending them requires that we self-regulate and maintain focus. And research shows that we all have a limited amount of self-regulation resources. And with VAST, that supply is even smaller. So think of it as a reservoir that requires refilling throughout the day as we continuously drain our supply. And when the reservoir is empty, we have difficulty focusing and coping. We get triggered. Our willpower is diminished. So mindfulness, which could be any type of mindfulness, could be a walking meditation. It could be just a breathing, taking 3 deep breaths. And energetic interventions can refill that reservoir. It's so important. So if we take mindful pauses during the day, we can keep the reservoir topped off. And a mindfulness practice teaches us the skills to recognize when the reservoir is in the need of a refill. So with a quantum lens, we are multidimensional, and not just at the brain level, but our brain or our mechanical machine needs that energetic replenishment to operate those planners and the timers that everybody wants to throw you when you are newly diagnosed or you want to figure out how to organize your life. Now, again, you are actually part of this vastly intelligent system within the universe. And this organization and intelligence is innate, right? It's embedded, it's an embodiment, and is transmitted through the nervous system. Now, the nervous system is the master system that controls all others, transmitting your life force to each and every part of the body. Every system, organ, tissue, and cell, it receives information back from all the parts, right? It's an ebb and a flow of energy. And the integrity and the connectivity of our nervous system is a key factor of our overall health. And the nervous system breaks down from far too much stress, trauma, and also biological and environmental reasons. So this is especially important for individuals with executive function and challenges with ADHD or VAST. So the nervous system at the core is a part of and stems from this 4-dimensional quantum approach. Now, there's plenty of research to back up the differences in the ADHD brain. But did you know that our whole nervous system is built with a totally different structure? And neurotypicals have an importance-based nervous system, where ADHDers have an interest-based nervous system. So what's the difference? Our brains trigger for motivation and focus, right? So we have an interest-based nervous system, and we're going back to the hunter-farmer theory. It is very much a hypervigilant nervous system. It also gives us our superpowers of being very highly sensitive and empathic. So the first pillar of quote unquote ADHD is an interest-based nervous system. And there are big 3 players. The first one is it's the magical interest-based nervous system based on the importance of the deemed to tasks, right? The negligence of being able to tolerate too many tasks at once. It's a strong interest in a task or a subject matter that only we're interested in. And we love the challenge. We love competition against something or someone else. We love the novelty. We love new gadgets. We love new routines. We love learning new strategies. We have a lot of urgency, right? It's do or die deadlines, it's procrastination, lack of time because we're in time or out of time. There's time or no time. So we're very good at crisis situations. Now, an importance-based nervous system is that you deem a task to be important or if it is required for one of your priorities. It also has a secondary importance. A task is important to someone important to you or someone else. And so you have more motivation to systematically complete your tasks. And completing a task will lead to a reward, and not completing it will lead to a consequence. With ADHDers, they just don't care, right? We're in or we're out. So this is a great example of how this existing mold is set up for us by the neurotypicals, or should I say the farmers who run things based on how their brain is wired in their nervous system. It's very process based. So what is the solution? Now, the importance of our nervous system and how it is structured in the workplace, in our school systems, and how behavior training is structured is extremely important. And oftentimes we leave out this underlying structures of trauma and other type of spectrums of autistic spectrum, hypersensitive individuals, etc. And so how are you supposed to follow these structures when the brain doesn't have that inner working? How do you force yourself to do things that you don't want to do? And I don't have the answer, but I have a part of an answer, and that most of us have spent our entire lives trying to contort our brains to fit someone else's world. We've learned that works for everybody else. There must be something wrong with me. So is there any wonder that you get overwhelmed? Your brain has a ton to process every day. So what happens when processing turns into excessive worrying and ruminating? How can you tell the difference? So rumination in context means thinking about something over and over again without completion or progress in the issue. This may feel similar to processing an experience where you review and analyze the details and nuances of what happened. So a good question to ask is, am I processing or am I ruminating? And here are a couple guidelines. So processing feels like you're making progress or movement. It can feel like a flowing river, changing speed and direction, but it is always moving. And it's also accompanied by neutral feelings or mildly positive feelings. And it may feel contemplative or curious. And it's accompanied by balanced thinking, the wise mind, or the ability to embrace the middle ground. And ideally, it results in the integration or acceptance of the experience, emotion, or the idea at hand. Now, rumination is excessive worry. Now, this can feel like being stuck or going in circles, can feel like you're on a hamster wheel, usually is accompanied by distress, anxiety, restlessness, or the difficult processing of emotions. Focus on a problem and the solution is very challenging, and it tends to feel a little catastrophic, which leads to black and white thinking and arises when one is rejecting or denying your experience, the emotion, or an idea at hand. So some processing will bring up intense emotions, especially in highly sensitive people and empaths. And you may notice emotions rise and fall moving through you. But if we can pause and process, it is the most beneficial thing you will ever do to start the healing process. And this goes for anybody. And there's often this catharsis that comes from processing. Yet, if you feel you're cycling, my friends, through the emotions without progress, you may be in rumination. So check, right? So how do we balance the nervous system in a four-dimensional lens with VAST or ADHD? So the first one is to move. And I'm just going to say, move it, my friends. Normal alignment of the physical body allows for that optimal flow of electrical energy of the nervous system and optimal function of your vital organs. And if we look at Chinese medicine, getting them all to flow and to re-energize and recirculate. So when the body is out of proper alignment, the flow of energy from the nervous system is compromised, right? Next is motivation. The emotional aspect of health is a very important factor in our health. Leading edge science tells us that the emotions are physiological events transmitted by biochemical messengers. And when these emotions are not processed properly, they can create blockages and prevent healing. So the limbic brain, which is the part of the brain that processes emotions, also has important roles in the improper functioning of our organs and our physical movement, as well as our thinking and decision-making executive function and our working memory. Therefore, emotions affect not only physical health, but also one's overall disposition, sense of well-being, and perceptions. Now, the next one is energized. Stay energized, my friends. Electric, the body electric. The body is just this flesh and blood. It exists in the energy field. While some may doubt this aspect of health, the 5,000-year-old system in Chinese medicine is based on this premise with impressive results. Now, recent scientific studies suggest that physical health can be negatively impacted by the exposure to these strong EMFs, electrical magnetic fields, and exposure to cell phone radiation and other electrical interference. So to be mindful that the energy in the body, grounding on the earth, being able to be energized or re-energized with vitamin C, meaning vitamin of the connection, and being present with people that you love in your life is extremely important. Next is nourishment. The biochemical aspects of health is well known and the basis for nutrition in a non-medical drug approach. Now, food, herbs, supplements, and pharmaceuticals are all ways to impact our biochemical imbalances. Also, biochemistry can be negatively affected by pollution, as we know, as well as environment and toxicity. The nervous system is symbiotic with our biochemistry as the electricity of the nerve impulses that depends on the chemical interactions within the body. So the body's biochemistry is extremely important for health and is affected by other three dimensions that we just reviewed. So, for example, if the body's vital organs are being negatively impacted by structural or emotional stress, good nutrition and supplements might not be properly digested and utilized and won't be enough to help someone's body respond to the challenges posed by the stressors. So, in conclusion, these are four dimensions that support and interact with each of us together and co-create our dynamic health in a four-dimensional way. And it's vitally important that we start to look at the whole integrative nervous system. And although many healing approaches address just one dimension, the fountain of you and how I look at the whole woman and the whole person to find results are often miraculous by considering and working all four of these together in the order presented by the body, and a discerning practitioner or coach will absolutely bless you to achieve the results in a holistic and quantum way. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the four dimensions. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, or morning. Remember to be energized, to be nourished, to be motivated, and to be moved, and to really address healing the nervous system at the core, first and foremost. All of my love, all of my light. Until next time, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Well, hello, Awaken Beauty. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Were you inspired? please leave a comment or your own personal aha moment so others can capture exactly what you did. Also, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're interested in high quality natural products for your hair, skin, and wellness, including organic CBD, please visit evoquebeauty.com. Again, that is evoquebeauty.com, evoquebeauty.com. And until next time, darling, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back.